People must be fouling. Let me just make my position clear. I think we've got to keep calling fouls. Now, you got to make sure they're fouls. So there's some replays that look and you say, well, that wasn't even close to a foul. Those shouldn't be called. But I mean, there's a forearm on a drive, there's a body check on a big, those should be automatic calls. Call the fouls on both teams. Now, if one team's fouling and the other team's not, that's when you have those kind of fouls called. Because you're feeling like, I can't call them all against the other team. Why not if they're fouling every play? And the other team's not fouling, don't call you. That's when, how could they call that a foul? Or how could they call this a foul? Call the game the way we all want it to be. We want freedom of motion. We don't want a guy driving and getting banged 3 times before he shoots a layup and you say, why did he miss the layup? Well, probably the guy's finger in his eyeball and his knee and his thigh kind of affected the layup. So I'm about calling fouls. I mean, that are fouls. If the game is physical, it should be called.
Do you think they have any fear that if there's too much physicality in the game that fights are going to break out? There's been a lot of
No, I don't think they're being told to call fouls. The only issue is there's some that aren't fouls that they're calling. I mean, if you look and everybody's like, wow, the TV, the people, the fans, and everybody says, well, that no one even touched anybody. How do they call that? Probably not a foul they should have called. But look, I don't blame officials. I don't. You know, they're not perfect. I appreciate when an official comes over to me and says, I missed that. Then I don't say anything. You know, these guys, they got a tough job. And I said it the other day, when you're officiating our game, that's this fast. And you got to run 5 times and try to stay up with these guys. And then there's a play happening in front of you. There's going to be some phantom calls. Who foul? What foul? I thought I saw it. It's a mirage. You just ran 7 times up and back. It's hard. But, you know, they're doing what they've been told to do, which is if it's physical play, call foul. I am all for it.
There seems to be a lot of, in your game the other night and then the other games I watch, a lot of calls on the offensive end, especially with illegal screens and in post position. Was that a point of emphasis coming into this year that they wanted to try to clean that
we're
stuff
trying to
up?
tell Bam, if you put your hand out away from your body, you're giving him a chance to call an offensive foul. Don't do it. Don't do it. Keep your hands tight. When he goes like that, they have a right to call that. Even if you looked at it and said, well, there wasn't a whole lot of contact. Yeah, but you gave him a chance to call it. The other thing's on a drive. If a guy puts that forearm on you and you're driving the ball or hip checks you, that is supposed to be a foul every time, whether my guys do it or the other guy does it. Call the fouls. I mean, does anybody really want the game to go back where we're just beating the crap out of each other? I don't think anybody does. I mean, I support what they're trying to do. As a matter of fact, I was one of the voices behind it. Call the fouls. Now, we all adjust how we coach. And I'm telling my team, there are games where you're playing where they're calling it really close. Well, then adjust. You're in the game seeing it. You got to adjust.